your program today. All the stars of the greatest show on earth will be on the arena floor to sign the program before the show starts.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Please be advised that any souvenir toys sold outside of the arena are neither licensed nor authorized products. Ringling Brothers and bullhooks.
Now, what is your name?
Steve Fontana.
And you're an elected representative?
State representative from North Haven.
And we're out here today on the Church Street entrance of the Hartford Civic Center. What brings you out here today?
I'm out here to lend my support to the hard-working activists who are here on their own free time to educate the public about the cruelty that's inflicted on elephants in circuses and to try to underscore the need to ban the use of bullhooks, ancuses, and cattle prods.
Now, what's the latest with the bullhook bill?
Latest is it's gone on 2 committees. It's now on the House calendar. What we're trying to do is round up enough support in the House to have a debate on the bill and to call it. We need to have roughly 80 people in the House supporting it. Right now we have about 45. So we have a very short period of time to try to convince a great number of our colleagues to support the bill.
Now, there's been a lot of negative reaction among the business community, especially the Hartford Business Journal called folks out here terrorists. What has been the reaction sort of in the lobbying community on the side of the circuses? What kind of defense are they putting up?
Well, the circuses are basically engaged in a pattern or a strategy of misinformation and disinformation. They suggest that these things are used only to guide elephants, and we demonstrate that they're used to inflict pain, cause bleeding and scarring, and screaming in some cases. They talk about the economic benefits to Connecticut, but offer no evidence as to how much it is we actually benefit from them, or actually how much money they make from coming to Connecticut. They talk about how it's humane, and the fact is we have this undercover video that shows that they're not being used humanely across the country by all sorts of companies, and it's wrong, and it needs to stop.
Now, are there instances of circuses that have stopped using bullhooks?
There are circuses that have stopped using elephants. The Moscow Circus, the Big Apple Circus, the Vargas Circus, other circuses, I believe, have not used elephants or stopped using elephants. So there is very much a tide going that direction. Yes.
Now, what is your name?
Karen Lasky.
And what brings you out here today?
Well, we're trying to educate people about what happens to animals in circuses, especially elephants, and we're currently working on legislation to ban bullhooks in Connecticut, and we're hoping that people will contact their legislators and tell them to get the cruelty out of the circus. And if the circuses are saying that they're going to boycott Connecticut and not come to Connecticut if they can't beat their elephants, so to speak. So we're asking people to say, well, then it's time for another show then, if they can't stop beating their elephants to come to Connecticut. And there's a lot of people here today. We've got a lot of support. A lot of people are rethinking the circus. They want wholesome, clean entertainment for their kids. Entertainment that doesn't involve weapons, like the bullhook. The bullhook, you can't even take it into a lot of places, and here there's probably 20 of them in the bowels of the Civic Center used on elephants continually at the whims of the trainers. So we want that outlawed, and if that doesn't work, we'll try something else.
What is your name?
Barbara Service.
And what brings you out here today?
Oh, I'm here today because I've been here for many years, and because the elephants are being trained with cruelty behind the scenes, and I think that this is wrong, and I think this is a wrong message to children to allow them to be bullying, to get the message it's okay to bully animals.
Now, you had some letters printed around in some newspapers this past week. Can you tell radioactive listeners about that?
Within the span of a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks maybe at least, there was, the Hartford Business Journal. I got one in the Current, trying to remember, Norwich Bulletin, Connecticut Post, I think. I've forgotten all of them. I think I had one printed almost everywhere.
And what message did you want to get out to newspapers?
I wanted the newspapers to understand Well, there were varying messages. I mean, it depended on what the editorials were. It depended on what other messages were coming into the newspaper. But basically, we want people to really understand that that this kind of treatment of animals is not something that's appropriate, and that to use a bull hook on an animal to train them is, you know, such outright cruelty. There are state laws against cruelty to animals, but none of them are applicable to the circus. So the argument that we already have laws set up is not a valid one. And the one law in Connecticut that says that deals with wild animals explicitly exempts the circus. So these animals are basically unprotected. And it's true that the AWA has some regulations, but they're extremely weak regulations, and they're supposed to be enforced by the USDA, but that's a very busy organization, and they're a little bit difficult for them to, you know, to cover all of this. And so basically the animals just don't get, and when they do come around to the circus knows they're coming, and they patch up the animals. Oh, this is kind of interesting. There is a product called Wonder Dust that the circus uses, and it's a powder that they put on the wounds of the circus when they get cut by a bullhook. And it's a quick coagulating powder so that the blood dries up quickly, and it dries the color gray, the same as the color as the elephant's skin, and so that, you know, people don't see that these wounds are there. Then they use this when the USDA comes around, and you know, other people look at the elephants.
Now, what is your name?
Deborah Robinson.
And now, Ms. Robinson, you have, is this a bullhook that we're looking at? A real one?
A real bullhook. You feel how sharp it is. It's pretty sharp here too, although some of them are sharper. Sometimes they have a sharp edge here too, so they can actually really hook in, and it's heavy. So when you swing it, the elephant knows it's been touched. But even this little piece is sharp enough that it's extremely noticeable.
Now, how did you acquire this?
Actually, we got it. It's on loan because they're very hard to come by, and it's from API, which is the Animal Protection Institute. They're a national animal welfare, animal rights organization, and they're working with us on the bullhook deal.
Now, what message do you want to bring to patrons who are coming in and out? Do you want to? Is it to show them the weapon?
Well, I want them to understand, because when Ringling tends to cover up the ends of the bullhooks, now that we're focusing attention on them, we noticed when they had the elephants in the park the other day, they were all standing holding the ends so they couldn't be seen by people. Although when they walked with the elephants, they had the ends out against the elephants. And we just want to make sure that people understand what we're talking about here, and that this is something that can really do a lot of damage, and does.
What kind of reaction is there to folks when they see the hook?
Well, the ones that stop to feel it, you know, the ones that aren't mocking us, are impressed by its sharpness and its heft, and seem to go away thinking, which is the goal, so I'm hoping they are.
Thank you and enjoy the greatest show on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Please be advised that any souvenir toys sold outside of the arena are neither licensed nor authorized products of Ringling Brothers and Baldwin Baby Circus. Furthermore, Ringling Brothers is not responsible for the quality and safety of these unauthorized products. Thank you and enjoy the greatest show on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest show on earth. Please be advised that any souvenir toys sold outside of the arena are neither licensed nor authorized products of Ringling Brothers and Baldwin Baby Circus. Furthermore, Ringling Brothers is not responsible for the quality